Lesson given on letter A, the Old Hebrew Alphabet, by Prince Kameni. Lesson given on letter A, the alphabet modernly pronounced A. A, correctly pronounced in Old Hebrew language, ALEPH. 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 What we know has the letter A used in the modern alphabet was known and discovered in Paleo Hebrew alphabet, carrying the Old Hebrew name ALEPH. ALEPH. One more time. The name of letter A in the Old Hebrew alphabet is ALEPH. ALEPH, and meaning in our Old Hebrew language, we'll still speak in Cameroon, he said. He said. So the name of the alphabet, ALEPH, means he said. He said. More clearly, the Old Hebrew people did not pronounce letter A as A. They rather call letter A with the name ALEPH. ALEPH. And ALEPH is in the Old Hebrew language, as I let you know. As we said, the Old Hebrew word ALEPH means ye said. In our Old Hebrew language, we'll still speak till today in Cameroon by the Bamileke. And we have to mention that the brothers of these Old Hebrew went to the United States, to Jamaica, to Brazil, in the islands, Fiji Island, to Ethiopia, to Congo, to Cote d'Ivoire, to Mali, to Senegal, to South Africa. They all spread out in South Africa. But the part that still speak the Old Hebrew language is in Cameroon. Why did the Old Hebrew alphabet, ALEPH, means he said? It means he said, referring to God who speaks, referring to God who said, which is in Old Hebrew language, ALEPH. ALEPH. The Paleo Hebrew alphabet is more ancient than the modern alphabet. This makes the Old Hebrew alphabet to be the father that gave birth to the modern alphabet. The Sumerians, the Greeks, and the Romans, these Europeans, they who are our cousins, they were all inspired by the Paleo Hebrew alphabet. And they have copied and imitated in their modern alphabet all the 22 letters of the Old Hebrew alphabet. For they have modernized them so as to form from the Paleo Hebrew alphabet their own modern alphabet, as we see them written today. The Old Hebrew priests, my fathers, the fathers of the Bamileke, have drawn the design of the alphabet called in their language, Old Hebrew language, ALEPH. ALEPH. They have drawn it like this, like you see in the image. Like you see in the image. It is the shape of this laying down of this alphabet. It is its design that was drawn has an A, but an A laying down on its side, and an A laying down like this, like you see on the image. The Europeans copying, imitating, and modernizing this letter, the A laying down on its side, they modernize it by putting it up. This A laying down like this, like you see in the image, A. Our cousins, our brothers, the Europeans, put it up. They also took the first sound of this ALEPH, which is A. The first sound, A. That first sound, you find it in the word ALEPH. A. So the Europeans took the first sound, A, which is now called A in English. They took that first sound, but they left out the second sound, Le. In the word ALEPH. One more time, the sound ALEPH means he said, referring to God, Yahweh, that is speaking. The shape of the alphabet, ALEPH, was formed from the shape of the head of an animal, the ram with horns. Or maybe the shape of that alphabet came from the shape of the head of the bull with horns. It was one of these animals that the priests have represented in a perfect sketch. At the time of our ancestors, the symbol of a bull with horns represented the laws of Yahweh and its applications. Strict application. These laws represent also Yahweh himself, for Yahweh manifests himself through his laws, for no one sees Yahweh, but his laws are seen as the horns of bulls. This very old Hebrew language is spoken by my tribe, the Bamileke, in the west of Cameroon in Africa. One more time. One more time. The writing of the sound of a speech is imperfect, but itself, the sound of a speech with no writing is perfect. Here, in this work of researchers, the sound is primary, not the writing, because all the first object of all items that were created at the beginning of the world were all made and created with sounds, including the speech. The language was created with sound, not the writing. To discover what we have discovered today, we have chosen someone who speaks English, French, Spanish, and we have asked each person to pronounce these words with his own way of speaking his language, making the words to convene in his own language. Then we have chosen someone else speaking the language that is the subject of our research today. Language spoken in Cameroon, in the west, by the Bamileke, namely the Fefe, we hold to be the old Hebrew language, what is family language, the Manjumba, the Ngembong, the Homala, the Yemba, the Shupamon, and the language spoken in the areas of the Anglophones in Cameroon. And we have asked each person to pronounce these same words with his own way of speaking his language, making the words to also convene in this language mentioned above. That is how, through the sound and only the sounds, we have discovered that the old Hebrew and the old Egyptian language was spoken in Cameroon, and that the old Hebrew and the old Egyptian origin, is in Cameroon, and that this alphabet also pertains to the old Hebrew people. By Prince Kameni. By Prince Kameni.